is the LGBT plus community more protected than the black community, and which one is more important?
I'm gonna say that the most protected community is the LGBT community. The least protected community is the black community. And I also like to say, this is gonna sound a little bit wild, but within the LGBT communities, obviously, because it's multicultural, you can be black and gay, you can be white and gay, or whatever not. What I will say is, the reason why I will say that the LGBT community is more protected is because you can be white and gay, but you're still a white person in community, you understand? You still have white privilege. So therefore, to me, because it's the LGBT community is so strong, it's because they have every ethnicity within that. It's not just black people, it's not just white people, it's just not, because I'm gay, but it's I'm gay and I'm also white, or I'm gay and I'm also Asian, I'm gay on this. But there's a common collective sense, that I'm gay, you're gay, let's fight for this together. Whereas, and you can't really, which I love the fact that the LGBT community is strong and all of that other stuff, like fight for your rights and whatnot. But what I don't like is some are silent when black people are struggling, when it was the black people that helped you on the first place. Like, I just need to understand, like, where did we go wrong? Like, why is it that black people are always the ones that's having to fight for everybody else? And when we need fighting for, everyone's silent. They're like, I don't know what's going on. Like,
can I say something? Your earring just... in my opinion, I feel like, given the climate that we're in now, and given all the recent events that's been happening, black people are starting to come together more, and they are starting to speak up more. And this is something that we were doing before, but it was like there'll be a group of people doing it here and a group of people doing it there. And even if they weren't doing it, they weren't singing the same song.
Yes.
With the LGBT community, I don't know if you would have learned this, but up until, like, for instance, the 1970s, a trans person couldn't go into a gay bar and have a drink. They weren't accepted by the community. But it's once they came together, that's when they became stronger, and that's when they started to have a voice. And us as black people, I feel like we are now coming together as a community. And now we're starting to gain the recognition that we should have been getting. And I don't think we're there yet to get the support that we need, but we're getting there.
But as a person that's obviously part of the LGBT community, right? Do you feel like it's
Who,
fair?
me? Why are you assuming for? Like, what are you trying to say?
But as a person that is obviously black and gay, do you feel like you struggle with that conflict? I like yourself as well, Josh. Like, there's that conflict of like, well, my black people they're hurt and they need help, but there's also a thing where, like, because let's not lie, the black community can be very homophobic. We see it with the baby just recently. But like, do you feel like there's a conflict of like interests of like, I want to fight for Black lives or whatever not, but there's also the issue of like, if I'm a black person like dying, a lot of my community won't really say nothing.
Definitely, like we were saying earlier, when we go on marches, like, I feel like the black community will only go on a march if someone died or there's a big social injustice. We march every chance we get for various different reasons, and we march for everyone, black, white, because we fight for equality, we fight for, everyone to be treated equally. And I feel like when it comes to like the black community, like, we will go and march with you, but then you won't come to our march.
That's true.
You won't stand with us.
No, but it's not
like, you know what I mean? I feel like it's 50. Like, I'm not saying everybody, but like, we will go and march with you, but like, how many of them would go stand honestly, put their hand and go, I'll go to a trans march?
Yeah, no, but you're right. I agree with you.
They're gonna go to a gay march with black.
I feel like when it comes to the LGBT community, we are always marching, we're always making noise, we're always making sure there's a presence, and I feel like as of late, the black community really, it takes a lot for them to make some noise. Someone has to die, there has to be a huge social injustice for them to kind of make a noise and march about it. And I feel like, the upside and the advantage that the LGBT community has is that we're a little bit more organised, and it's all about making sure that we're all singing the same song and all being in unison.
Alright, so my question is, so for you two, would you put your sexuality first before your colour?
That's a good question.
Well, they're both.
Do you know what?
The same thing.
That's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
They're both part of me.
It's not.
But that being said, you was giving me your colour before you was giving me your sexuality.
Words, facts.
you were given your colour.
You're black before you're gay.
Yeah.
Sorry,
How do you know
period.
that?
I can look at someone on the road. I'm not going to know if they're straight, gay, bi, fluid. I'm going to see them as, oh, that's a white person. That's a black person. That's an Asian person. I'm not saying that you should choose. All I'm saying is that people look at you first by your appearance, not by who you are and what your sexuality is. So therefore, for me, I'm not saying your race is more important, but it's something that people see first before anything else.
How do you know
But
that?
you are though.
It's-
I'm
but you know it.
sorry.
It's both.
No, but it is.
I think
That's not true.
I think by it's either the 18th
No,
or
but
the
I'm
20th
saying
week,
you're born gay,
your
right?
baby starts getting colour.
Exactly, no, but I'm saying that you're born gay. I genuinely believe everyone's born gay. But I'm saying, if a policeman is seeing you, he's not seeing you as a gay man. He's seeing you as a black brother.
You're not
So I'm
saying-
sorry, your racial
So are
confirmed
you
through your
saying
sexuality,
that-
and I said what I said.
Are you saying that we should pick and choose?
When it comes to my sexuality and my colour, I don't feel like I need to choose one more than another. I spoke about being Caribbean and African, and people always saying to me, oh, so what are you more of? Are you more Caribbean? Are you more African? I want to be both. I personally feel like I'm a mixture of both. And yeah, I'm not going to choose and say, okay, cool, because I'm part of the LGBT community and I'm part, like, I'm going to pick and choose as and when I'm part of those communities. I'm part of those communities 24 hours a day. When I open my eyes in the morning, I'm Javon. And being Javon means that I'm part of both communities. I don't get to pick and choose, and I will never pick and choose what's more superior to what's not.
No, we're not saying that. I'm not saying that.
Not pick and choose. From the argument, yeah, from your statement, Josh, you said, but we as heterosexual people aren't necessarily going to march for trans, yeah. So that's why I asked: would you put do you put your sexuality before
your race?
Your race.
I don't put it. I wouldn't say I put it before, but it's a fact of like, because I go to both marches. So that's
So you're okay, but like, if you had to choose,
You can't.
Would you-
No,
would
you
you-
can't say. You
you
can't
can't
answer
say
if you had to.
you are making us choose.
It's like me saying, I'm black and I'm gay. I can't pick and choose. Like, one day I'm going to be black, but I'm not going to be gay.
Because-
Well, I'm going to be gay today, but I'm not going to be.
but
that
your
statement,
blackness
you're
affects you
black
more
and
though
you're
than
gay,
gayness.
rather than you're gay and you're black. shows
I'm
that
sorry,
you're
no. I'm sorry, and I said
you're
what
being
I
hypocritical now.
No, I'm not being
Hold on,
hypocritical.
Hold on, you just went back there and you said the one thing about the LGBT community is it doesn't matter if we're black,
No,
white,
I'm
blah, blah,
saying,
blah,
no, but I'm
and now you're
saying,
then
but what I
backtracking
said,
and
no,
saying
I
this.
said
It's
what I
like,
said, but I said, being black, like, I said your blackness affects you more than being gay. Because let's be honest, if a police officer
No,
was
that's subjective.
But it's not
That's
subjective.
I don't know.
It's
I don't
not
think it is.
subjective.
I don't
It's
think
not. I'm
No,
sorry, your
I think
blackness.
No, but
you have
that, you
deeper
can't apply that
repercussions
rule.
if you
You
speak
can't apply
about
that
someone
rule.
of
No,
that community
you
rather
can't apply
than
that
speaking
rule.
about a
Exactly,
black
yeah.
person.
Like I said, I feel like you're born with your colour first before your sexuality. I don't know, some might disagree with that. But anyway, you go, you see colour first. And again, if your mannerisms don't show that you belong in another community, you will be seen as a black man, woman. So yeah, I honestly believe it's black before anything else.
If I was to speak on you being gay, it would be more offensive than me
Since
speaking
we're
on you being
being black, like,
Do you understand? And that's
facts.
worldwide.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Brilliant.
Whereas wherever you go, nonetheless, you will be seen black before
Right,
you are.
I
anything.
get-
And unless your
That's what I'm
mannerisms,
saying.
and unless your mannerisms show that you do belong to that community, no one will know other than the fact that you're black.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's my point.
That's what I was asking.
Your
Like,
blackness is more
like,
like.
so
With the Black Lives,
Yeah.
let's go back to what Josh said. Like, let's talk about like George Floyd and when this whole Black Lives Matter movement started. Like, on a grander scale, was it just black people marching?
No.
Was it just straight people marching?
No.
Exactly. It was
100%.
all people of different creeds, nationalities, and races marching for what they believe is right. But what he's saying, when it comes to the gay community now, or the LGBT community, sorry, how many people are comfortable enough within their sexuality,
To go
and how
march.
many people are going to say, I'm not scared of, because you can be like, okay, cool, I accept you as an LGBTQ person, but are you going to support them? That's completely different.
No, that's
No, I agree with you. That's why I said I
And
agree with you. I do agree
this
with
is
you.
where there's division, because I can go to a straight person and the straight person's go, cool, do you know what, as long as you're not enforcing as long as you're not
like you.
at the end of the day,
I like you, we're cool.
we're cool.
Like
But
for
I
me,
think as soon as it comes to okay, cool,
Are you gonna
we're cool.
Yeah.
But when it comes to your rights and how we can move forward in your life and for the generations behind us, I'm not going to support you because I ain't about that.
Yeah.
And this is it's changing. I
Yeah.
think with generations it's changing because
Yeah.
people are coming now more educated and more accepted.
I'm more open-minded.
Exactly, more open-minded, but it's still not there yet.
But again,
This comes to culture when it comes to black people.
Yeah.
Culturally, black people and gay, it doesn't mix. It's like oil and water. And right now, in this moment in time, it's starting to mix, but it hasn't mixed yet.
I don't think it's, you know, like when the oil drips down in the water, like it's like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Yeah.
Do you really think so though?
110%.
Well, no, I think. Hold on, I think.
What about stuff
remember,
like Vogue and stuff in the dance?
in our own reality, it might be
like,
different. So Naomi's reality might be way different with it. Like I grew up in a very liberal household. I got
I don't
friends
talk
that.
about household though.
No, but I mean, like
in the world.
Yeah, no, I think he's right. I think it is oil and water. Like.
I'm don't get me wrong. I'm proudly Jamaican. Okay, well I'm half Jamaican, but I can say I'm proudly Jamaican. I can go to Jamaica and I can live my best life.
Yeah.
However, when I go there, I need to be cautious of how I'm acting, how I'm speaking, things that I say. I can't be open.
That's my
Okay, it's not that bad. I know
You will see
but the thing is, it's not that bad anymore, but it's still bad. I think the stories that I've heard, like most of my best friends are still in Jamaica, and you will see a lot of people of the community are trying to leave Jamaica so they can live a life that they've always wanted to live without the judgment.
Especially like the transgender people.
I agree that it's changing. It's 100% changing because when I went to Jamaica 10 years ago and to Jamaica that I go to today, very different. People are starting to be more open. People are starting to be more understanding, more accepting, but we're just not there yet.
But I have a question though, because you guys said
and it's not going to happen overnight. Rome wasn't built in a day.
Right. But I feel confused because you guys was like it doesn't really mix in the black community. But what about all this comedy stuff where men are putting on wigs and talking feminine, and now that's what you see even white gay guys doing, like
drag,
like talking like a black woman.
Yeah.
Hey girl, oh my god, this is crazy. Like, so why? Because that is black, but it's mixed with gay, and no. There's so many white gay people that talk like that.
But do you think in the beginning?
But that's what I'm saying.
In the beginning, it wasn't as.
No, I'm talking about now though, because you guys said it doesn't really mix with black culture. I feel like a lot of black culture is coming into the LGBTQ and being not taken over by the black people, but by the white people.
Hold on. What did you just say?
You know, generally white people acting like black people, I just don't think it's right. You know, it's different if you was raised in that area and all your friends are black and you naturally talk like that. That's a different thing because that's your upbringing. That's just naturally who you are. We all know people like that. But when it comes to just impersonating a black woman, it makes me feel like they're trying to take the power of the woman because the divine feminine is so beautiful, and that's really what it is that a lot of people admire in the black woman generally. But I just feel like it's just not respectful. It's just not needed. Just be yourself. No one asks you about your sexuality. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to talk like that. So just be yourself. Don't try to be someone that you're not.
Come in.
Yeah, but
so
you guys were saying
it's come yet. So therefore, it's still a journey.
You said it's let's all America or watch all these white gay people talk like black women and try to do all of this and the hair and everything and the style. That's black culture.
My question is, if you lay down with someone, why does your mannerisms have to change? Like,
what do you mean?
Like, whoever you sleep with is whoever you sleep with.
They don't change. Some people are like that. Like some people are like.
Okay, but then in the same breath, some people aren't, and their mannerisms do change. So as Naomi's saying, like you speak like a woman, and
no, she's talking about people.
I'm talking about actually gay white people. Yeah. You must know them.
Yeah, but I know that actually like that. I know some of them.
Yeah, but why are they like that?
You're talking about the white gays that have like a black in a woman, right?
Okay, but that is wrong.
Yeah,
like,
but
it's black in a woman.
It's what becomes more culturally accepted. Because think about this is going to be something that's.
But that's an issue.
No,
that we need to
think about it.
about.
Let's talk about something. Let's talk about skinny jeans. When skinny jeans first when men first started wearing skinny jeans, yeah. Now think about it, it's like, oh my god, you're gay. Why are you wearing skinny? That's
Right.
But now you can be gay, straight,
anyone.
you can be anyone if you want to be and wear these things, and it's not.
But I think my issue is just in general, nothing to do with the LGBT community. It's like, is it every day we must steal black culture? Is it every day we must do that?
But
we must. I know.
It's
not every day.
They steal black culture, but they don't back black people. Like,
that's not true.
I've had a situation where I was friends with a white gay guy at work, and we were cool. And every time he spoke to me, it would be, "Oh yes, Queen," did it like taking on black culture. But then when I was going through something of like, I don't support Gucci because they're racist or they've got blackface, all this, and I was telling him this to my face, he was like, yeah. But then behind my back, in what he found was a safe space with other white people, when someone questioned it, like, oh, you're gonna get Gucci, I thought you weren't supporting it. And he was like, I'm a gay white man. What's that got to do with me?
I feel like black people have been taught to divide. I think it goes back to weaken us from way back when, all the way back in history. It's just an easier way to conquer people, and I think we've just taken that mindset into where we are today. And it's just about unlearning everything that we've been taught and just kind of starting anew and seeing where people stand and how we need to deal with different things that we haven't ever really been taught before.
See, this is what then within that, when I heard that, I'm still going to associate with him because I'm there for you and anything you do.
They're very divided, like black gays chill with each other, white gays chill, and like behind closed doors, like even black people do the same thing, like they rape white people.
But is it division, or is it what you feel comfortable with and who you can relate?
But that's still division though.
No, it's division, but sometimes it's that I won't have a problem with necessarily a person of a different ethnicity or colour, but I can relate more to someone who has similarities to me. So if you're black or you're like from the Caribbean or from Africa, we have things that we can relate about. We're both gay, that's something else that we can relate to. But when you're of a different colour, I might find it a little bit more uncomfortable because I haven't had the same life experiences that you've had.
I mean, I've got quite a diverse set of friends, and I always have, and I pride myself on it, so I don't find myself in uncomfortable situations socially, but I know it, I mean, I've been around people that are like that, and it does happen. So.
But do you think it's fair though, like all jokes aside, do you feel like it's, okay, let me just control my mouth. I'm gonna make sure this doesn't come out wrong, but do you feel like it's fair that the LGBT community is more protected than the black community when the black community generally... Let me finish.
I don't understand.
Let me land. You see the plane is moving. Let me land. Okay. Do you feel that it's not fair, like it's just compared to what a black person or a POC person goes through, like I'm talking about normal straight people, do you think it's fair that an LGBT communities in general is more protected legally, like socially, than the black community?
I don't think they are.
Can I go back?
Wait, sorry, everyone stop. Okay. Whoa. Let's go back. Did you just wait? Did he just say
I don't think they're more protected. In my experience, I don't think they're more protected. No.
Can I just say that?
What?
No, I don't think.
Looking at this, I'll say this: you won't get stopped and searched for being gay.
Okay, cool.
Do you know that?
Okay, cool.
You're not gonna.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna die.
I'm not gonna get subjective question because I'm saying.
But this is the whole question.
That's the question.
No, but what I'm saying, so if a gay person was walking down the street and someone spat at him or called him a word, and he called the police are like, oh, they don't do anything. It's not. Okay, cool. It's not on a most severe level, but I don't feel like.
No, but that's my point. But do you think it's fair that your community is more protected than a community has suffered for over 400 years?
In the sense,
it's not fair. I'm sorry.
To talk on gay, lesbians, trans, or so forth, is seen as a hate crime. Do you understand?
Literally, you can call someone a nigger and it's like, oh, it's wrong.
And you'll have more outrage.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying. It's not fair.
But you speak about another black guy,
But if
black girl
comes to it, they'll be like, oh, you're being sensitive.
Yeah.
Like even like as of recent, I think we were speaking about this last time. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but even the whole stats of black women being 5 times more likely to die during childbirth.
That's my point.
So when we speak about protection, that's even what we're
where I was coming from.
We can go down, I don't know, any central London street and see a rainbow zebra crossing. You won't see a Black Lives Matter zebra crossing. Even the whole taking a stand in football has become a case of why are they still taking a kneel? Like it's not the same sort of argument as when apparently 2 Premier League English footballers meant to be coming out of the closet to acknowledge that they're gay footballers. It's not the same energy. Even rainbow laces, the captain armband has the rainbow colours. It's more endorsed than it is of saving the life of a black person or ensuring that we as black people are seen, recognised, and our struggles are also heard and experienced.
Well, I was saying, I agree with what you're saying 100%. However, I want to go back to what I said initially is of us coming together as a people and shining things on taboo subjects. Because you're saying that black women are more likely to die during childbirth. These were statistics that we probably wouldn't even heard about 5 years ago. They may have been there, but we weren't hearing about it. So now that black people are coming together, people are starting to be like, wait, hold on. Black people are being treated more differently than probably X, Y, Z. And this is what the gay community or the LGBT community.
But then I would say
4 or 5 years ago.
This is what they started doing. They came together. They started putting statistics out there. And then that's when the people are like, okay, cool, we're going to now have to recognize this and recognize that there's now been discrimination.
But I have a question because really and truly I'm confused because Black Lives Matter, like, cool, that was a thing, but it's not like black people weren't fighting before
that.
So I don't agree when you say that the LGBTQ community has been there longer.
Looking at this shit,
as in they've come together.
I get organised. I know
exactly.
They came together. All these things. Black people have been trying to come together many
black
times.
Black people was a group. Was there not other black groups? There.
Yeah,
and they
but
were all singing
still.
different. Like I said before, they was all singing different songs.
Yeah.
The Black Panther movement, cool.
The different song is just the approach, but the same song.
But sometimes you need the same approach.
I get what you mean.
Once you have a unified approach, that's when someone's like, okay, cool. They're giving this one unified message. We now need to act on that one message. If I'm telling you the sky's green and you're saying the sky's blue.
I'll say this, if the LGBT...
One second.
I'm gonna sort of agree with everyone's point of view in different ways, but I feel like that the LGBT plus community has a little bit more traction in terms of support because there's other different ethnicities, like what you were saying. Because there's white people in that community, it's got much more traction, much more support, much more acceptance than if there was only black gay people in the world. It wouldn't hear about it. It would never be accepted. It would never be where it is now. Is what basically.
As sad as it is to say as well, like while we're thinking about who's more protection and who isn't, I do think this also comes a little bit down to the fact that we've become a little bit desensitized to racism in the sense where. But like you've said, this has been going on for centuries now. And I think people just have started to not give a shit because we've heard it and we've seen it so much. But then we've got to think about this. For some people, we're saying this is two different communities, but for some people, this makes up them. You're part of both communities. And now we've got to also think about, Stonewall. Stonewall started through black people as well. So, I think it's very, very hard to say who has more protection, but at the same time, you can see these signs. You can see the signs that the LGBT community are slightly favoured. But it's very sad just to see that it becomes desensitized.
Even education-wise.
Can I get your opinion on something?
Go for it.
What do you think we can do as black people? No, this is because I want to know, what do you think we can do as black people to get more recognition? Or is there something that we're doing?
It starts from the home.
I hear what you're saying in the sense that, like both of you made the comment that basically what is more important to them, their blackness or their sexuality. But why should they have to choose? It's just like me, for example, I'm mixed. And I remember in school, someone said to me, what are you, black or white? And it's like, I was like, no, I'm mixed. That's what I am. I'm not going to choose. I'm not going to choose a side because that's what I am. This is what makes me me. And they were like, and basically they were like, well, if you was in a war between white and black people, what side would you be on? And I said, and that's not because of anything my parents taught me or anything like that. I just knew in myself. I was like, I'll just stand in the middle and die then, because this is what I am.
Wow.
But why should I have to choose? Why do you have to choose a side? And this is a problem in our community. It's always like, when it comes to certain issues, like, say for me, I'm gonna speak from me, yeah? It's just like, I'm too white to talk about certain subjects, or too light. You don't understand because you're not dark enough, or you're not, so you're either too black or too white. And you just get lost in the middle. Like, I feel for most of the time I'm not allowed to have an opinion about anything because
you're mixed race.
You're right.
I'm mixed, yeah.
But I would agree with you. The only thing what I would say though, I know a lot of people may not agree with me, and I was saying about this before, like, 1 minute you're mixed, next minute you're black, 1 minute you're mixed. Me personally, I just feel like mixed race people should just have their own race. Like, I don't feel like they should be classed as black.
Everyone's mixed.
Let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean. Let me explain what I mean. I mean, as in, like, obviously you can identify as black and white. I'm not saying that, but in terms of society, how society views you, like we're talking about Obama, he's seen as a black man, but he's actually mixed race. But I'm saying,
when he's doing,
but this is separation. This is
not separation.
It is.
No.
Let me give you an example. Yeah, my dad is white, right? His kids are mixed. Now, all my brothers and sisters have black partners. Their kids are black. Yeah? If they have partners that are black, they're not going to remember that their great-great-granddad was white. So they're going to say they're black, but they're mixed.
One big reason why the LGBTQ community is more supported is, even if you watch any new movies or series, have you guys not noticed that there's always a gay or lesbian couple?
I was even
that is something that's literally programming into the world that is more accepted than black love, because you see black love way less in normal TV series, Netflix series, movies, anything that's in Hollywood. So any argument that anyone tries to say that LGBTQ is less supported, it doesn't make sense, because it's right in our face every single day on apps, every single where. And it's getting to the point where it's pissing me off, because it's like so much support. It's like you guys don't even have to choose. That's not even the case. But I think what people need to do is understand what is more important right now. And more important is the fact that black people come together and make a change, because people are dying left, right, and center. The whole world is built on a system not for black people. And but gay people still fit in more time with certain things, even just because you're gay. So there's another white person who'll be like, oh, you're my buddy because you're gay. But when it comes to just you being black and straight, then that can't connect with that. So that's why I feel like you guys don't have to choose, should never have to, but just understanding sometimes what is more important for the world and for the future. Because if black people come together, then, even the black gay LGBTQ community will be more supported.
Together right now, though.
That's what I'm saying, but that's what I'm saying. That is more.
That was the question he was asking.
This is the question I'm asking. Do you think black people are?
We're not together.
We're not together because that's my point. Because there is this divide of black people in that community trying to understand where they're trying to go, when really we should be focusing on what is more important.
I agree with you.
You know what I'm saying?
Going back to what you said.
It starts with the
going back to what the both of you said, and you were talking about you being black and white.
Can I just clarify what I was trying to say? What I was trying to say is that, of course, like, you're mixed race and you're black and you're white, but I'm just saying, as a son, like, my son's mixed race, and my son really struggles with his identity, like, really struggles. And to me, I just say to him, do you know what, babe? Like, you're not black nor you're white. I mean, you're both, but you have your own race. Like, I don't feel like you should have to choose. You should just be, I am a mixed race. No, but some people. No, but what I'm saying is, like,
still part of
the black. You're both. That's my point. But I'm just saying, in the eyes of society, a mixed race person is classed as a black person. What I'm trying to say is, you should just be mixed.
Honestly, like, mixed race people go through a lot. It's like, am I black? Am I white? Am I Asian? Am I white? Like, there's just a lot. For me, I'm just like, listen, just have your own race. Just be calm. Just be happy. So you don't have to choose. But that's where my perspective is. Not like, oh my God, to divide and conquer. Nah, like, it's just, if you're if you don't want to have to choose between anything, just be mixed. You're mixed. Have your own race. Just enjoy that. Do you know what I mean?
Can I say something to mix though? Because
Go on,
I look different than you do. I don't get approached as a mixed race woman. I get approached as a black woman. I have a German passport. My mom is German. I was born and raised in Germany. I never in my life was treated like a German. Not every mixed race person looks mixed. Yeah, but not every mixed race person looks mixed.
That hits it on the head.
So you can't do that to them because then we are gonna have even bigger struggle. What I'm gonna say to you as a mom of a mixed race child is just make sure that you literally embrace both cultures a lot. Especially, to be honest, especially the black one, because he's gonna face more issues with that culture because of the world and the system. And I never had identity issues because I know both my sides. So just make sure you do that, and then he will figure out, and he will be fine. You know what I'm saying?
So this is like a strange one for you, and this is also coming off what you guys have literally just said. But similarly, my mum is also mixed race, also born in Germany as well. But that, like, looking at me, you wouldn't sort of guess that, or you wouldn't think that. So it's sort of the same where, you know, where you were saying, like, you know, you might have a great grandfather that's white and you just wouldn't know about it. But actually, for me, I do know about it, because as much as I look black and everything like that, I have a lot of characteristics that I still inherit from my white side too, such as my hair, or certain ways that I speak, or certain aspects that I have that I look like my white side too. And it's like, for us that are mainly, you know, I guess I've taken on more of my black side, where do we fall under then? If there was a you know, just a mixed race, and then what would happen to the quarter caste people like me?
When you talk about culture, you talk about...
Similarly, I get my black friends coming up to me going, oh, how did you get your hair like this? Is your hair real? This, that and the other, and da-da-da-da. It's like, well, actually, it's just because of my heritage. It's nothing else like that.
I get that you guys talk about black and white. However, rolling it back into the black community, someone like myself, I'm half Caribbean, I'm half African. And growing up in school, and I'm sure everyone's heard like arguments, the plantain argument, or plantain or plantain. It's like, at the same time, there's I'm not even trying to get into that, but I'm telling you, there's a division there. As in, people would say Caribbean people are a little bit more superior than African people. This what from me growing up, this is how I felt, and these are the arguments that I got. And it's not saying it's personal. Exactly. No, obviously, I'm the best of both. As far as I'm concerned, I'm the best of both.
But this is the point. In the black community, it's always provide. And we always have to, oh, you're this, you're that, you're that. And this is why we can't come together.